All right, if you guys have been around the channel for a while, you guys know that this is probably my most favorite comfort sneaker, maybe of all time. This is the New Balance FuelCell Supercomp Trainer, and this was just an incredible pair of sneakers to try. If you guys actually tailed me and bought a pair of these, leave a comment and let me know. But I've been anticipating a second release or a follow-up to this model, and New Balance just randomly dropped them on their website while I was on vacation, and I had to buy a pair instantly. So got the second version. I ended up choosing the black colorway. I did a poll on Twitter and a lot of people said they wanted the black colorway, but a lot of people mentioned the orange colorway as well. So I might actually get the orange one as well, just because I really dig this pair of shoes. So this is the newest version of the New Balance FuelCell Supercomp Trainer, and this is a second version. And I gotta tell you guys, there's a lot of changes that they made about this shoe, but mostly all for the better. I think there's a couple things that people may agree or disagree on with some of the changes. I've identified 5 changes that I wanted to cover with you guys, but ultimately, it's like just straight out of the box, this is one of the most incredible pairs of sneakers again. Not too far-fetched considering we have the first version, now we have the second version. So if you've never tried the first version of this shoe, what is this sneaker like? I'll tell you guys, this is a very unique experience on feet because you can see on the bottom here, it does have this energy arc, which is a carbon fiber plate in the middle of the shoe. Typically, the plated sneakers are just strictly running shoes. They don't really cross over to lifestyle too well, which is why I found this shoe so incredible for the first version, is that it was a plated shoe, but it didn't walk like a plated shoe. And I say walk because this is primarily just a lifestyle sort of sneaker channel. Obviously, these are performance running sneakers to some degree, but it's a training running sneaker, which the name would suggest. And it does cross over to the lifestyle side, similar to the first one. If you're looking for like a max cushion, crazy soft squishy feel underfoot, like this shoe delivers just as much, if not more, than the first pair does. And it's interesting because the midsole is actually a little bit smaller in some areas and a little bit bigger in others. So they changed kind of the placement of the foam. It looks like there's more in the midfoot of the shoe here and maybe a little bit less in the heel, but it doesn't mean you don't feel like the heel squish or anything like that in these shoes. It's a really incredible ride from the heel strike to the toe off. Like, it's just insane. But anyway, let's get into some words of what New Balance says about the product, and then we'll get into some of the changes that I've identified. So these retail at $180, and they do have wide versions on the site. I say true to size wide for myself. For fuel cell models from New Balance. The fresh foam models, I usually go true to size and then the regular width, but for fuel cell, I like to go wide, and these things are perfect. The FuelCell Supercomp Trainer 2 brings the performance of energy returning technology from race day to high mileage training. In this execution of new energy arc technology, a stacked height midsole houses an arced carbon fiber plate sandwiched between 2 layers of fuel cell cushioning, leaving a hollow channel through the middle of the shoe. The plate is flattened into the void with each foot strike and returns energy as it reshapes, creating a high rebound sense of propulsion. The FuelCell Supercomp Trainer 2 is designed to look, feel, and perform differently. So not a lot of words there from New Balance, and I didn't see any information about the stack height or anything like that on here, but it does look, again, a little bit shorter than the previous version. That being said, on feet, these things are absolutely incredible. Again, you could just see from the video, the heel squish is major, just major, better than the Invincible Run in my opinion, and I will do a detailed comparison between these and the Nike Invincible Runs. I mentioned the Invincible Runs because those have kind of taken on the crown for like the most comfortable sneaker for daily use or whatever, which the Adidas Ultra Boost used to have. Feels like the Invincible Run is kind of like the mainstay now. However, there's other brands bringing you other things that are better, and this is one of them in my opinion. Now, one of the changes that they made to this versus the previous one that I absolutely love is the overall weight of the shoe is less. This actually weighs 9.5 ounces, which is pretty incredible considering how massive of a stack this is. The previous version weighed 10.9 ounces, which is pretty insane. And it's noticeable in hand and on feet. Like, this is crazy light comparison. So the other major change between the two is the knit upper of the shoe. Now, this is going to be one of those things that some people are going to really love, some people are going to hate the changes. Like, the first version had this like dual mesh upper, which was really interesting. It was very breathable. And the first version had like a knit around the collar here, a little bit rough to the touch, to be honest. And the heel liner back here was a little bit flimsy, and some people found that the texture and whatnot just a little bit annoying. On the newer version, it looks more like a standard upper. However, on this colorway, it's hard to see, but you can actually see through parts here as well. So this is actually a very breathable upper. Also, it's just definitely more streamlined with like a regular pair of sneakers. The tongue is ultra breathable as well. Like, if you look at it from certain angles, you can literally see just right through the tongue. So the breathability on the shoe is very nice. So in my mind, the other improvement that they made is the tongue. I didn't really like that the tongue was like off-centered, and so they kind of changed that with the newer version. It's more centered. It just has more balance and symmetry with it being in the center. Also, as I was alluding to, the big change back here with the heel, you have lots of cushioning right here on the heel now versus the previous had that weird little feel. So I like that they made it just a little bit more standard, a little bit more traditional, and a little bit more mainstream instead of what they had in the previous version. Now just to note also, the tongue is like gusseted or whatever, so it is attached with some stretchy material right down here, so you can pull it out here and give it a little bit of wiggle room. And being able to have that extra room here to be able to pull the tongue out just makes this version that much better for somebody like myself with a little bit wider foot. I don't like it how sock-like sneakers or whatever like fit over top of my foot here, it just snugs down too much. I didn't really have that problem on the first one, but I do like that it's more traditional on the second version. One other positive is the bottom of the shoe is actually slightly wider than the first one. Personally, that's a big plus for me, somebody with a little bit wider foot. Also, it adds a little bit more stability to the shoe, just having a little bit wider platform on the bottom of the shoe. This one doesn't look as crazy and wide and chunky and stuff on the midsole as some of the other stuff out there, but the way that they deliver this one, it looks a little bit sleeker, and I personally just like the design overall better. And also, while we're looking at the width and the bottom of the shoe, you can see the energy arc down the middle of the shoe is just a little bit slimmer, which I personally like the look of. I think that adds a little bit more fuel cell to the bottom of the shoe as well on each side of the energy arc, which in my mind translates a little bit better on feet with a little bit more squishy feel underfoot. So I saw a comment on Twitter and they were worried that the heel squish on the second version wouldn't be as felt as the first version, because anytime you have a midsole that they're completely redoing like they did on the second version, I mean, obviously you don't want it to like be a downgrade. And even though the overall stack height may have changed just a little bit in certain sections, like right here, it's insanely good. It's insanely big. And if you've never tried on the first version and you try on the second version, you're just gonna be blown away by how much softer and squishier this is on feet than like the Invincible Run. Anything else really on the market. Like, this is one of the best things that I've tried on. The only thing that comes somewhat close in my mind is maybe the Asics Gel Nimbus 25. That one's pretty soft on feet as well, but side by side I feel like these ones are a little bit softer on foot. And you do feel more in the forefoot on these than on the previous version. One other thing that I noticed from wearing these around, especially side by side, is the way that they change the placement of the fuel cell in the second version is a little bit, again, midfoot heavy, which makes it so like when you're heel toe transitioning, as you're walking around just casually, I noticed that the carbon fiber plate is a little bit more rocker-ish. So it's not so aggressive like the performance running sneakers where it's like a toe off and it's just like a rocking motion because of the carbon fiber. It's not as aggressive as that, but it's a little bit more aggressive than the previous version. The V1 has this rocking plate in it, but I didn't really feel the rocking plate, which is part of the thing that I like, the fact that you couldn't really feel it. And I do feel a little bit more in the second version. It's not bad, but just pointing out something that I noticed. So in summary, a little bit of a rating about these shoes. Some of the pros about the model: breathable upper, lighter than the predecessor, wider than the predecessor, the overall comfort and the heel, the change up of the tongue, the max crazy amount of squish in this midsole is unmatched by pretty much anything on the market, in my opinion. Really an unbelievable pair of sneakers, and one that I actually like the look of over the previous version as well. It looks sleeker, it looks sexier, it's just honestly an unbelievably great shoe. And the stability, I would probably give it like a 7 or 7.2 or something like that out of 10. It's not very stable. Comparison to other things out there, obviously you're looking at a maximum stack of fuel cells, so this is going to be soft and squishy, and so stability is definitely not at the forefront of what this offers. However, breathability is probably a 9 out of 10. Just overall breathability from the tongue and the upper, it's quite breathable. Traction might be like a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, there's tread on the bottom. It's very, very thin, and it's thin for a reason. Again, they want to cut down on the weight a little bit. You could probably put in quite a few miles in these and you'll still be good to go. But just pointing it out because it's probably not as durable as maybe like a Saucony pair of running sneakers or something that has like a way bigger, thicker, like rubber traction on the bottom of the shoe. This is very minimal for the purposes of the shoe. The comfort rating on these though, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, man. Like, the overall midsole in this is so incredible, and same as for the previous version. So both versions have been excellent, but it's so cool to see like an evolution of a different shape of the midsole that's very familiar, but also different and better looking in my opinion. I love the overall design and shape, and if you squish the sides of the midsole, man, it's just so soft and squishy. I don't know. It's a 10. It feels like this shoe is made for me even more than the previous version. With some of the changes that they made here, I love this shoe so much. So is this a perfect comfort sneaker for 2023? I know I've just done a bunch of lists, and then of course these end up dropping. I don't control the release calendar of when companies are going to be dropping stuff, and I don't even know if they're going to be dropping anything. But now that this one is out, I mean, if I do a top 10 comfort sneakers, this one's going to be replacing the first one. Since the first one is not really readily accessible anymore, I found a couple places you can buy these on sale for about $140, $145 versus the $180 on these ones. And if you guys are interested, I'll link both of them in the description. But incredible shoes, man. I gotta be honest, it's super nice to be able to just go on the website, buy the shoes, get the shoes, and not have to worry about any hype or anything like that following some of the sneaker releases and stuff, and then getting the shoes on and just being blown away by the overall comfort and the improvements that they made on the shoe, at least for my feet, from a casual perspective, having this tongue relaxed, having a little bit more padding around the tongue, having a little bit more padding around the heel, making it a little bit wider, and then having just a massive stack of fuel cell, which is New Balance's softest and squishiest foam on the market. This is way, way softer than like Zoom X even. It's an incredible shoe, and if you guys agree or disagree, leave a comment in the comment section. If you guys have tried the first version and you're interested in trying the second version, check the link in the description. It'll take you over to New Balance's site. I do get a little bit of a kickback from your guys' purchase, and it lets New Balance know that you guys mess with the channel. Greatly appreciate when you guys use my links in the descriptions of the video. But anyway, what do you guys think about the New Balance FuelCell Supercomp Trainer 2's? Mouthful, but man, absolutely incredible. Blown away by this. Definitely going to be my summer everyday shoe. And because I'm going to be wearing these so much, I'm definitely going to be buying that orange colorway as well. But I appreciate y'all for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And this is a treat, man. Super, super good. And happy that I was able to get a pair of these so easily. And hopefully you guys will check them out and let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section, or follow up on Twitter, Instagram, or on other videos if you guys are seeing, because I will be doing a comparison between Invincible runs. I might do a comparison to like an Adidas Ultra Boost Light as well, even though they're completely opposite ends of the spectrum with comfort. It's nice to have both of them, honestly, and there's reasons why I like one more than the other in each of the occasions. So hopefully you guys wouldn't mind seeing that video, and check back, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you back for some more of my sneaker videos very soon. All right, peace guys.